Hi there. I'd like to talk to you about professional studios and commercial facilities. When we design a commercial facility for either audio and video, and any combination of the above, it may be a dubbing theater, it may be a video production facility with a recording studio or ADR room. You might have server rooms, you're going to have offices, you're going to have possibly even a restaurant involved in the facility, or a canteen. So many things to consider when building a professional or a commercial facility. You're going to need parking space. You're going to most likely need handicap facilities. You're going to need loading docks and access to the tracking area or the production where you do video, so you can have load in. Sometimes people bring in huge instruments or huge things to show on a video. Okay, so it depends on the set requirements, it depends on the recording requirements, etc. So every single one of them is unique, and what you got to do is you have to take your business mission or your commercial mission and put it in a package that fits and works with everything surrounding it. And you may have future developments in the neighborhood. For instance, your next door neighbor may be an empty lot now, but in a few years it might turn into a I don't know, let's say something real noisy like a machine shop, or a place that does quick change tire service or whatever. You know, you got those pneumatic guns going off all the time. Any number of possibilities when you're in a commercial area. So you have to build insurance into your design and into your building to cover inevitabilities. Okay, so we use statistics, we use research of the area, we talk to people, we work together with local architects and local council people, whoever we can get involved to help us on this project. The whole idea is to just make it work. As I've said before, my success is your success, vice versa. Actually, your success means I did a good job. So if you're able to open business and be successful and have recordings that translate and videos that just are magic, there you go. That's the end product, and that is what, you know, like the old adage of the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So, and I often, you know, personally, I like going to good restaurants, and I fancy myself as somewhat of a connoisseur, and I know what I like to see. I know what I like to have. You know, I know how it should taste. And so do you. You know how you want your video. You know how you want your recording or your mixes, whether it be stereo only, 5.1, 7.1, or even Atmos we're doing now. So whatever your goals, will help you to implement, will help you to and get you a design that's going to work to meet your goals and hopefully exceed them, being open for future additions and the growing technology that we see every day. I get questions about should I float a floor, or should I should I build our walls solid concrete or whatever, and the answers to those questions elicit questions of my own. So I don't give a just blanket solution to every project. I don't float every floor, and we don't build concrete walls on every job. In many countries that we work in, actually the whole building is concrete, and that in itself presents several challenges. acoustically, because the bass waves in a concrete enclosure, they don't stop for a long time. So there's acoustic issues. Isolation is improved with concrete just simply due to the mass. And then if you have a decoupled structure where you have a concrete shell inside an exterior concrete shell, oh my, you get some pretty darn good isolation if it's built right. Floating a floor, if it's on grade, if you're on the ground on a slab, it depends on what you're close to, and also it depends on the soil type. If the soil type is like a clay or similar material, which is rather resilient when it comes to shock and such, you're not going to need a floating floor, because it's almost like building a building on Silamer or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not going to transmit much sound through the earth, except for very, very, very low frequency, and that's never picked up on recordings. Anyway, won't get into that. But many times you won't need to float the floor. Now, if you're on the second or third or fourth floor of a building, you may have a problem. Every building, every floor, every structure that has a level on it, that level is like a spring in itself. It's already a spring, okay? And it's also transmitting noise through it. Any noise that's started over in this corner of the building will transmit through the structure and come out up here or somewhere. It's very curious, and sometimes very difficult to ascertain the source of some noise that's coming through the structure. But we deal with this a lot. It's not easy, but we do that. As I was saying about floors vibrating, if you have a springy floor, well, all floors are springy. I don't care what they are. If they're solid concrete, they still have a resonant frequency, okay? If you're going to isolate a structure on top of this, it has to be massive enough to resonate at least that frequency divided by 2. The frequency of the original floor resonance, divide that frequency by 2, and that's what the floating structure has to resonate at in order to isolate. If you don't do that, don't do it. Don't do it at all. Just deal with it. That's what I usually say, because if you can't afford to do that, or if the structure will not support the weight, the additional building inside on that floor, it's not something you want to do. Many times, you know, I'm all for building overkill, if as much as is possible, and if you can afford it. But if you can't afford it, or if that is something that will cause the business to fail in the end because you're just short those few $1,000s, that's cutting the budget pretty darn tight. But still, a few $1,000 will get you through a startup, at least a day or two, and a day or two can make all the difference in the world. So we look at the resources, we look at the budget, we look at everything, because like I continually say, it's all a system, and I don't care if it's a light switch or a carpet or a chair. It's all part of this system, and it's all got to work together so that you have the isolation, you have the acoustics, you have the aesthetics, you have the flow, the workflow, you have the facilities that you need in the space that you have. And life is about compromises. And when you're doing a business, or you have a commercial venture, it's about compromises. And compromise is something that human beings are actually pretty good at. We are good at adapting, and through that adapting, it makes us better, and it also makes our designs better. You know, we always learn something new from every build, and it's exciting when I get a new build. Not just because it's more income or more work, but it's because I get to do something new, and I'm excited because I know I'm going to come up with something special for this one. And the client, anyway, the idea is to get you what you need, and so that you can do your work. Also, we constantly work with architects, civil engineers, structural engineers, codes officers, and departments that handle zoning laws and etc. We also work with other acousticians in the area if required, and you need a noise survey. We will work with that service at your locale to produce the data that we need. So all in all, the idea of a commercial facility is just that. It's to create a business so that you can do your job and get a product out. And of course, having dealt with the creative industry all my life, and I look at it like not as a income producing thing, but as a work of art, a creation, something to inspire, something to benefit everyone that's involved. So there you have my philosophy on commercial audio and video facilities. If you want more information, or you need more info, feel free to contact me. Send me an email. Get me as many drawings, photos, information. Connect me with as many parties that are involved in the project, and let's talk, and let's get this thing rolling for you. Cheers.